The Galactic Council had ruled the stars for 12,000 years. They had seen empires rise and fall. They had witnessed the birth of new species and the extinction of old ones. They believed they understood everything about power, about war, about survival. But they had never truly understood humans. When humanity first joined the galactic community, the Council observed them with mild curiosity. Humans were small. They were short. Their technology was primitive compared to the ancient civilizations that controlled the trade routes and military alliances. The Council placed humanity in the lowest category of species. They called them harmless fauna in their official documents. They expected humans to remain quiet, grateful, and obedient. For 50 years, humanity played along. They traded fairly. They followed the laws. They sent diplomats who smiled and nodded at every insult. The other species laughed at human emotions. They mocked the way humans cried at sad stories. They found it amusing that humans formed attachments to pets, to plants, to machines. The empire called humans the weeping species. The crystalline hegemony refused to negotiate with creatures so obviously ruled by primitive feelings. Nobody paid attention to the human military. Why would they? Humans had only a small defense fleet. They had no conquered territories. They had never started a war. The galactic powers assumed this meant humans were weak. They never considered another possibility. They never imagined that humans simply had not been given a reason to fight. The incident happened on Nexus Station 7, a trading hub at the edge of Council space. Commander of the Empire was celebrating a successful raid on a mining colony. His warriors had taken valuable resources and slaves from 3 different species. They considered this normal business. The Council turned a blind eye because they paid their taxes and kept their violence away from important systems. A human family was passing through the station, and were researchers traveling to a distant laboratory. Their daughter, Lily, was 7 years old. She had bright eyes and a curious nature. She wandered away from her parents for just a moment, drawn by the colorful lights of an alien vendor's stall. Commander saw her. He was drunk on victory and alien wine. He decided to demonstrate his power. He grabbed the child by her arm. When she screamed, he struck her across the face. When ran toward his daughter, warriors held him back, laughed and threw Lily to the ground. He broke her arm deliberately, slowly, while her parents watched and screamed. Station security finally intervened. They returned Lily to her parents and allowed them to leave without charges. After all, they were an important empire. Humans were just harmless fauna. The station commander filed a minor incident report and forgot about it within the hour. The family returned to Earth. Lily spent weeks in a hospital. She had nightmares every night. She flinched whenever someone moved too quickly near her. Her arm healed, but her sense of safety was shattered. Her parents posted about the incident on human networks. They asked for justice through official channels. The Galactic Council responded with a form letter expressing regret for any inconvenience. For 3 days, nothing happened. The galaxy continued as normal. They celebrated another successful tour of conquest. Commander received a promotion. The Council discussed trade agreements and territorial disputes. Nobody noticed the silence from human space. On the 4th day, the human ambassador requested an emergency session with the Galactic Council. Ambassador Sarah was a small woman with gray hair and calm eyes. She had served as a diplomat for 30 years. She had never raised her voice in a council chamber. The delegates expected another polite request that they could politely ignore. Ambassador placed a single data chip on the speaking platform. The chip contained a recording of Lily crying in her hospital bed. It contained images of her bruised face and broken arm. It contained the station commander's dismissive report. Every delegate in the chamber was forced to watch. When the recording ended, Ambassador spoke 4 words. Her voice was quiet, but somehow it reached every corner of the massive chamber. She said, "We are done asking." Behind her, the holographic display changed. It showed the human fleet, not the small defense force the Council had observed for 50 years. The real fleet. Thousands of warships that humanity had been building in secret. Weapons that humanity had been developing while pretending to be harmless. Technology that humanity had hidden behind smiles and tears and apparent weakness. The chamber fell silent. The ancient crystalline delegates who had not felt fear felt their cores vibrate with something new and uncomfortable. The ambassador began to sweat. Ambassador continued. She explained that humans had evolved on a death world. Earth had ice ages and meteor strikes. It had predators and diseases. It had earthquakes and tsunamis. Humans had survived everything their planet threw at them. They had done this not despite their emotions, but because of them. Love made them protect each other. Fear made them cautious. Anger made them dangerous. And nothing made humans more dangerous than threatening their children. The ambassador gave the council one galactic standard day to deliver commander for human justice. She gave the empire one day to pay reparations to the family. She gave every species in the galaxy one day to decide whether they wanted to see what happened when humans stopped being harmless. The ambassador laughed. He called humans primitives with delusions of power. He said the mighty empire would crush this rebellion before breakfast. He promised to personally deliver the heads of every human diplomat to the council chamber. He should not have said that. Exactly one galactic standard day later, the human fleet jumped into space. They had the largest military in the galaxy. They had conquered 30 species. They had never lost a war. Their confidence lasted approximately 4 hours. Human weapons did not play by galactic rules. Human tactics did not follow established military theory. Humans did not believe in fair fights or honorable combat. They believed in protecting their own, and they believed in making examples. The flagship exploded in a flash of light that could be seen from 3 systems away. Commander tried to flee in an escape pod. Human special forces captured him alive. Within 1 week, the Empire surrendered unconditionally. Their military was destroyed. Their colonies were occupied. Their leaders were arrested. Commander was tried in a human court and sentenced to life imprisonment in a facility where he would watch recordings of human children laughing and playing. He would be forced to understand what he had tried to break. Humans considered this more just than simply killing him. The galaxy watched in horror and fascination. Species that had bullied humans for decades suddenly remembered old insults and wondered if humans had forgotten. They had not forgotten. Humans never forgot harm done to their children. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. They offered apologies. They offered reforms. They offered to create new laws protecting humans from discrimination. Ambassador listened to their offers with the same calm expression she always wore. Then she presented human demands. Humanity wanted a seat on the High Council. Humanity wanted the right to defend any species that could not defend itself. Humanity wanted the power to investigate and punish crimes against children, regardless of species or territory. Humanity wanted the galaxy to understand a simple truth. Humans were not harmless fauna. Humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. They had simply chosen to be kind. But kindness was a choice, and it could be revoked. The Council accepted every demand. They had no choice. The human fleet remained mobilized. Human eyes remained watchful. Human anger remained burning just beneath the surface of every polite smile. In the years that followed, the galaxy changed. Species that had oppressed the weak suddenly found themselves answering to human investigators. Slave trades that had operated openly for centuries were shut down. Crimes against children became the most heavily punished offenses in galactic law. Humans earned a new nickname. They were called the Guardians. Lily grew up in a different galaxy than the one she had been hurt in. She became a diplomat like ambassador. She specialized in protecting young species who were just joining the galactic community. She taught them what humanity had learned through thousands of years of evolution on a death world. Kindness was not weakness. Tears were not shame. Love was the most powerful force in the universe. But she also taught them another lesson. When someone hurts your child, you do not ask for justice. You do not file reports. You do not wait for committees to make decisions. You take justice with your own hands. You make the ones who hurt your child wish they had never been born. And then you make sure the entire galaxy sees what happens. There remained a memorial for centuries. Human ships patrolled its orbit. Human voices broadcast a simple message on every frequency, every hour, every day. The message was a warning to any species that might forget what humans were capable of. They hurt a human child. This is what happened next. No one ever hurt a human child again. No one ever forgot the lesson. Humanity had spent 50 years pretending to be harmless. They had spent 50 years watching and waiting and building. They had shown the galaxy only what they wanted the galaxy to see. And when the moment came, when one alien monster hurt one small girl, humanity had revealed their true nature. They were protectors. They were parents. They were the species that had crawled out of a death world and decided that no child, anywhere in the universe, would ever suffer if they could prevent it. They had made the galaxy pay the price for one broken arm and one terrified child. And the galaxy had learned to be grateful that humans were, most of the time, still choosing to be kind. The stars themselves seemed to understand. In the centuries that followed, when young species looked up at the night sky and wondered what kind of beings lived among those distant lights, their elders told them stories. They spoke of the weeping species. They spoke of the guardians. They spoke of the small, emotional creatures who seemed so weak and so harmless. And then they spoke of what happened when someone made the terrible mistake of hurting a human child. The lesson echoed through time and space. It became legend. It became law. It became the foundation of a new galactic civilization built on the understanding that some lines must never be crossed. Humanity watched over that civilization like fierce and loving parents. They wept at sad stories. They formed attachments to pets and plants and machines. They remained exactly as emotional and strange and wonderful as they had always been. But never again did anyone call them harmless. Never again did anyone mistake kindness for weakness. The galaxy had paid the price, and the galaxy had finally learned.